Hello, fellow modelers. Bruce here. I wonder, do you have basic minimum standards for any rolling stock that you're going to put on your layout? I do, and I thought I'd share those with you in this video. And again, these are just minimums before I add any car to the roster, whether it's a pre-built car that I got at a train show or picked up somewhere like this Missouri Pacific boxcar, or whether I'm building it from a kit, in this case an Athearn Blue Box kit of a 2-bay hopper. So yeah, let's take a look at what my minimum standards are, and I'm going to put them into a couple categories. One is wheels and couplers, and then we'll look at weighing the cars, adding weight to them, some basic weathering real quick so it doesn't look like shiny plastic, and then ideas on loads for anything that's an open top car like this hopper car here. All right, follow along. Okay, these are the steps I use when working on all rolling stock as far as the trucks and the wheels are concerned. Step one is to take the plastic wheels that often come with the kit, take them off and toss them. I don't throw them away because at some point you can make a nice load of wheels on a flat car or something like that, junk pile, whatever. So the plastic wheels are off. Next thing I do is take this truck reamer that Micromark markets as the tool and put it in place and ream out the socket where the pins on the trucks go. Get them all uniform and deburred. These are in pretty good shape. These are Athearn trucks. You can tell not really biting off anything, so they're in good shape. Sometimes you feel it peeling off burrs and so forth. Oh, that one had a little bit. So that's one. You're not going to watch me do all of them. I'm working on 4 cars right now, but they all get the same treatment. All right. Finish this one up. Once I finish this step, I weather the trucks with my rust paint, water-based paints, a mixture of railroad tie brown and rust color, which I've talked about in previous videos. And I will weather the outside of the wheels. These are 33-inch metal wheels. A couple different manufacturers here. There's 4 there, 4 here. I got some KD trucks too. It's whatever's on sale. But all of my rolling stock gets this treatment. All right, I'll come back when I get the paint out. Okay, time to weather the truck frames. And here's my mixture of 50-50 rust color and railroad tie brown. And I dip my brush in water first and get some pigment on it. And again, it's really going to be a thin wash, and I just wash it over the side frames of the truck. I'm not painting, I'm basically giving it a rust wash and letting it go into the various nooks and crannies. That's what she looks like. Right. You want to compare that to one that isn't weathered. There they are. Okay, so quickly do that and just set them aside. Let them dry while I weather the metal wheels. And then it's time to reassemble everything. All right. You can see I'm using one of my homemade paint container holders. Can't tell you how many times I spilled paint on my workbench before I made up a few of these. The reason I made up a few is somehow after using them they get set aside someplace and I can never find them when I want them. You make enough of them and you eventually find one of them. Given some to some friends because it's a universal problem of spilling your paint or your containers of styrene glue. It's really a mess when that goes over. Okay, you don't have to watch me do the rest. I'm going to do it now for the 3 cars I'm working on. Talk to you again soon. Okay, now that the wheel sets, now that the frames of the trucks are weathered with my wash, I do the outside of my metal wheels with a slightly finer brush, but the same thing, wet the brush first, get a little bit of paint on it, and then you're going to go just around the inside and the outside edge of the wheel, like so. Again, comparing it, and yeah, quickly do all of the wheel sets that you're going to be replacing here. And again, since I am working on 3 cars simultaneously, I am going to have to do 12 of the wheels. And once again, no need for you to watch on all 12, but I will just do 1 truck's worth here. And then turn this off, and you can imagine me doing the rest of them. And then sitting and letting them dry. This is a kind of task, like I just came in from planting 25 dahlia tubers in some pretty hot weather out there, about 80 degrees and humid, so I was sweating. Just wanted to do something quick, so weathering these trucks and wheels up, fits the bill. All right, talk to you again soon. As far as couplers are concerned, all of my rolling stock get KD number 5s or a similar compatible coupler, and it's essential when you install a coupler that you make sure that they are a consistent height. And so I have this little test bed that I made up, and at the very end of it is a KD coupler height gauge, which I think you can see here. And so you look at the 2 couplers and make sure they're the same height. And if they're not, KD provides 2 kinds of washers, number 208 and 209 in their product line. Red insulating washers, which are a thickness of 0.015, and the gray insulating washer, which is a thickness of 0.010. And you just insert those between the truck and the car, and that'll raise the coupler up. And that's usually enough to get it reasonably the same from car to car. So yeah, consistency in couplers. Talk to you again soon. Okay, I've taken care of the truck side frames and the wheels, And the next thing up before putting this on the rails is to do a little bit of weathering on the sides of the car itself. Clearly this is a car that looks like it just came out of the paint shop, and if it had been in coal service for very long, it's going to start looking a little grungier than that. So the first thing to do is to tone down that white lettering and the red redding symbol over there. And the old trick for that is to start with either chalks or pastels in the same color as the background. In this case, it's a black car, so I will start with black and then just go over it and tone it down a little bit. Now, I think you can see in the video, the N and the G in redding is already toned down a little bit. When you look at it, it is not the bright white and the rest of the name. And what I do, this is a set of Bragdon's powders. They have the one they call soot, which is a black. And I take one of these eyeliner sponges and get some of the redding powder on it, and then just rub over the white letters. Rub them in a little bit. And again, now I think you can see that the D-I-N-G is toned down a bit. So I'm going to do that on both sides for any of the printing or over here in the red. And then I will add just a little bit of rust along the bracing on the outside of the car. And I'll come back when I start doing that to show you what I do. As far as adding some rust to the outside of my rolling stock, especially if the rolling stock is black or a dark color where rust would show up, is I use the soft pastels by Lowe Cornell. I've shown them to you before. It's their kit 881, and it really is 12 earth tones. So here they are laying here, and I take a cheap brush that bristles are fairly short on. I had to make up a new one because I wore the other one down to the nub. And I take a color that's way up here in the dark range. And, you know, here I'm adding some to the top rail of the side of the car. And these are soft and stick very well, kind of like pan pastels do. And once you've applied it, you take eyeshadow applicator. I always have a big bucket of these things laying around, and kind of rub it in. And then I will come to the outside bracing and go down the rivet lines on those. And just keep doing that, and again, come over it with the eyeshadow applicator, and you get yourself a lightly weathered, but it just doesn't look like shiny plastic anymore. All right, moving on. As for weighing cars, the NMRA has a recommended practice for how to weight cars of different lengths in each scale, and I'm going to post for you a copy of that right now so you can take a look at it, and then I will come back and talk more about it with my own models here in HO scale. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, and you can go back and look at that chart whenever you want to, but in HO scale what it says is that their recommendation is to weigh a car in HO scale as 1 ounce to start with, plus a ½ ounce for each inch of length. So this is a 4-inch car, ½ ounce for each inch, 4 more ½ ounces, so that's another 2 ounces, plus the original 1 ounce. They would like to see this at 3 ounces. We've talked about it many times. Some people like that recommendation, some don't. But we all agree, try to keep your cars weighted consistently from car to car. So since I started many years ago following that practice, I continue to do so. What do I use for weights? Just about anything that I can hide under a load. So in here you can see I got a couple of old nuts. It brought it right up to the weight I want. I use a lot of nuts. You can also buy now steel wheel weights for automobiles. You get a set like this. They're a 1/4 ounce each. They're self-adhesive, and again, you hide them under the loads. If it's a box car, you just put them inside the box car, out of sight. If it's a flat car, then what I do is try to bury it underneath whatever load I'm making up for it. So that's it for car weights, weighing your cars, I should say. So yeah, we will move on now and talk a little bit about putting loads in open cars like this open hopper. And you've seen me do a number of them with coal. So what else can I do? Well, if you have flat cars, I look for stuff. Like I picked this up. Who the heck even knows where I found it? But it's a shaft of some type. Let me get that into sight. And that is going to sit on a flat car. I'll make up a wooden, I guess, cradle, I guess you would call it, for that. My wife had some bobbins that no longer fit her current sewing machine. So those will become part of a load either in a gondola or on a flat car. And I will post some pictures of flat cars and gondolas with loads I've made, and you can take a look at them. So that's, about it. I'll come back at the end of the video with a few closing comments. Here's another gondola. This is, I think, a model die casting kit from long ago. It's a little out of the age range of my time frame for my railroad, so I made it into a maintenance away car for the Jersey Highlands Railroad and just put some items in there that a work crew might have as they go out onto a job site. All right, that'll do it for this video. These are my minimum standards for rolling stock. I encourage you to establish, standards for yourself that you're happy with. I think that seeing a car like this, this hopper with a modicum of weathering, as I described it here, you can see that the sides of the trucks are weathered, the sides of the wheels are weathered, the side of the car is mildly weathered. I got a load in it. That riding by looks a lot better than shiny black plastic with no load in it. So as always, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you again soon.